Hey folks, how you doing? Welcome. Sorry about the audio, but I've been trying to update my drivers for my interface, and I spent like 2 hours doing that. And it says it's updated, but then I look back at it, it's not, and I'm having all kind of glitchy problems. So anyhow, I thought I'd go ahead and do this video this way. I think it will be beneficial anyway. So, anyway, so I thought we'd take a look at what is dimensions anyway? What is dimensions outside of, perspective and height, width, depth, and that type of thing, right? What is a dimension and what is a density? Um, I remember about 4 years ago, I was using density and dimensions as like interchangeable terms, mainly because I heard other people do it too. I heard Corey Good do it, and I heard David Wilcock. And, I said, well, he's a pretty bright cookie. So I was using, but it turns out they are completely two different things. Well, I will explain. um, I spent like 2 years, I said, before a lot, not the last video, but the video previous to that, studying cheilontic morphogenic science, which is the science of multidimensional physics, and is known as the freedom teachings. At any rate, the model in respect to the construct within cheilontic morphogenic science is that this is a 15-dimensional time matrix. You have 5 harmonic universes, each containing 3 dimensions. So from that step off, I'll go ahead and jump right into this. And I think it'll make a whole lot of sense to you. I'm going to use the keyboard here to kind of break it down in a more simplistic way. I'm not that bright, so it's important for me to be able to get things in a simple way that sticks, that makes sense to me. So I don't really have to think about it, I just know it. And it gives me freedom, in that respect. So I thought I would share how I understand this, in by using this as a way to communicate these ideas. So dimensions. What is a dimension? Dimension is, based on what I understand in regard to this study, is that it is a scalar wave grid. Now, what is a scalar wave grid? Well, it is a series of flashing on and off in its most simplistic way to communicate it. A deeper way to explain it is that it is a process of fusion-fission and oscillation and vibration. So oscillation on, vibration off. All right, so I'm going to use the keyboard and use an octave. And the octave is going to be representative as a harmonic universe. So in the major scale, when we subdivide it based on semitone, right, we have 12 tones. So I'm going to subdivide this 4, 4, 4, right? 12. Okay? So each 4 notes is going to represent a dimension. Okay? So 1 dimension, 2 dimension, and the 3rd dimension. We're going to focus mainly in respect to the first harmonic universe where we reside, because that makes a whole lot of sense, right? So, at any rate, as a footnote, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but between each semitone, there's also 2 subharmonic tones. All right, this is very important in respect to the overall structure and how it's designed. If it doesn't work right, it doesn't work right, if you know what I mean. It's sort of like the idea of playing an octave here, and I got these 8 notes that I'm playing, and 2 of those notes don't work. So I'm going, it's like, okay, there's 2 notes missing. So we don't get the full effect of actually what's going on in respect to the frequency and the movement of in regards to the structure of the scale, the system, right? The arrangement, as it would be, according to design. Anyhow, so what we have going on here, and I just want to touch in on this, then get back into the idea of dimension and harmonic universe and so on and so forth. There is actually 12 tones within the first four tones, because I mentioned we have subharmonic tones, right? What has taken place in respect to this planet and this situation in this harmonic universe number one is that this planet has been affected in a way to where it's been mutated on a frequency level. Therefore, within the dimensions, we're missing subharmonics. This is the way I understand it, and it makes sense. So it doesn't work right. So that's the reason why we don't remember things, why we are not able to, make connection to our higher selves directly. I mean, it should be an ongoing thing. It should be a normal thing to be able to do that. We should have access to 12 dimensions all the time. Under normal conditions, that's how things are. If you would like, you can call it your birthright, because that's the design you were in, but it's been affected, so you're not able here because of the frequency mutation that has occurred, which is pretty detailed, by the way. We don't remember who we are. We have forgot our connection and relationship to our soul family, our mission, our purpose, all these things. Just basically you just wake up and you're just like, you have this, this state of amnesia. That's because of what's been affected, how things have been affected. Things don't work right? So it's missing some of the notes, so to speak. So anyhow, just as a footnote, I thought I'd just mention that because it's relevant to this particular analogy. At any rate, so all right. So within this reality field that it's creating, it takes 3 dimensions to be able to create this reality field. So we have a sequence of flashes of on and off with these scalar grids, right? So as a visual, think of dimension 1 like this. Think of dimension 2 like this, and then think of dimension 3 like this. So they're at angles from one another. And as you may have noticed, as we go up, the pitch goes up, right? Of course. So what's going on there? The oscillation becomes quicker. So the flash line sequence, in context, the flash line sequence from dimension 1 is different from dimension 2, and it's in dimension 3. So at a certain flash line sequence, faster, even faster. So they're different from one another. They're different angles. This is what, from what I understand, this is what creates the illusion of the reality field. So because we're in the reality field, not just observing it, we're subject to it, and it's real. It may be a hologram, but it's real because we're really experiencing it, because we're in the context of these flash line sequences, right? Now, if you think of like stories such as Jesus appearing to the disciples and he walks through the wall, right? What's going on there? Well, he's changing the flashline sequence in order to fit that reality field. So he's coming from somewhere else, most likely the second harmonic universe. And then as he comes into the first harmonic universe, dimensions 1, 2, and 3, once he comes through the wall, he readjusts himself and starts taking on the flashline sequence that exists here. Now, these mechanics, creation mechanics, are something they're not privy to somebody that's, super spiritual or masters, or it's privy, it's a birthright. It's these are common. When the structure's working properly and it's not affected like this planet has been, and then that becomes, you just know how to do it, and it's normal. So it's important not to put somebody on a pedestal. It's to respect all life and love all equally, because it's all of the one. There's a term used in the Anunnaki language that refers to a certain collective called the Yani. And the Yani means of the one, right? We're of the one. We're all of the one. It's love for all life equally. There's no separation in that respect. So the idea of hierarchy has an importance to it in regards to mission, but it never puts itself above anything else in respect that mission is for all life and the love for all life. It's when it doesn't do that, it's when the hierarchy is not a good hierarchy. Okay? You can fill in the blanks on that one all you want. So, at any rate, just as a footnote, when we look at the chakra system, because the chakra system relates to the dimensions, so each dimension has its own tone. As an example, you've heard the word chi, right? So you probably heard it in respect to martial arts or whatever, but you've heard the term before. Well, actually, that is the tone for the for dimension 1, right? And for dimension 2, you have the word ki, which is Ki, right? So chi, Chi, dimension 2, ki, Ki, and then for dimension 3, you have Rei, Ri. So chi, ki, ri. That is the combined tones that makes up the first harmonic universe. The colors being red, being the base chakra, because it connects to the chakra, because we're multidimensional. All this stuff is connected, and it's very intricate. And it's not like, because I've heard like people, I love George Kasavaslis, I love him. But he was mentioned that he had to get rid of his chakras. You can't really do that. What he's probably thinking, but just not knowing and not being aware of it, is that he was looking to trying to get his chakras cleared. So there is a process to that. But things don't really work right, like I mentioned before here, because things have been altered. There's been a mutation. But the chakra system is just one of the aspects of this real deep underlining system that manifests physicality or DNA template. It gets very, very, very complicated. It's a very complex program. So all these things are meant to work properly. But when they're not, we can't truly utilize our potential because it's been mutated, altered. But chakras, there's nothing wrong with the chakras other than they just need to be healed, as well as many other things that need to be restored. So it's all part of the system that needs to be restored. So anyhow, or healed, whatever term you would like to use. So there's different colors related to each dimension in regard to the chakra system. We're multidimensional, as mentioned. So most people recognize 7 chakras within the body, but altogether, because it's a 15-dimensional time matrix, there's 15 chakras. And there's more to it than that. There's always something that's behind something, behind something, behind something else that makes it work. Like I said, it's a very intricate program, mathematical program. And I don't want to use the word program to undermine what I'm saying here, because there's such magnificence to this, to the structure and the way it's designed. It's amazing, so it's not like we're having a simulated experience. Oh, that just really undermines really what this is. So I don't like using these terms, programs or whatever, but I don't know what other terms to use in this case, but I think the point comes across as far as what I'm referring to here. So we have, uh, like I said, what chi ki ri is, that's the name of, or the combination of tones that make up the name of the first harmonic universe. Tones and geometric symbols, all these things, it's all connected. It's very intricate, like I said. So within the second harmonic universe, you have just let's just touch on the second harmonic universe for a second in regard to these colors and sounds, or tones, as would be. So within the second harmonic universe, which is dimensions 4, 5, and 6, they're not separate like here within the first harmonic universe. We're not like experiencing, well, I'm going to go to the third dimension, you know, moving from the third dimension. Oh, and now I'm going to go into the fourth dimension. It's from harmonic universe to harmonic universe. It takes 3 dimensions to create the reality field. Okay, so you have prana, which is the heart chakra, and then for the throat chakra we have mana, and then for the um, third eye we have treya. So prana metta treya. That's the term, or the tones combined, that gives the name for the second harmonic universe. So, at any rate, obviously, you kind of get the idea what a harmonic universe is. It's what comprises 3 dimensions in order to create that reality field, and they all consist of different flashline sequences that determine the experience, right? So, at any rate, hopefully that made sense. Hopefully this was beneficial to you, because I don't really know what else to say without going on, and I'll just be babbling. Nobody wants to hear that. So, thank you. You are the beloved, and I love you guys, and I hope to see you again. Okay? All right. Blessings.